It's the WHO Radio Wise Guys bonus edition. We've been trying to think of what to call this because it's not really a post-show wrap-up, and it's not really an extension, but it's not really a substitute for the show. It's all those things at once. Dan Adams, what say you?
Well, I like the title post-show bonus, but we ended up with bonus edition.
Well, it's like a bonus on top of the rest of the show. That's the thing.
The key is it's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a Wise Guys bonus is what it is.
It's more that you don't pay for.
It's more of getting what you pay for.
Well, I suppose so. It's kind of like Q&A services that people are trying to put up online again. Why bother? Seriously? Why bother?
I don't. Yeah, I agree.
The reason I ask this question is I was introduced to Quora.com this week, Quora. And just for instance here, I pulled up a search on Bill Gates, the founder of CEO and Microsoft. It seems like that makes sense. The point of this service is apparently to allow you to ask questions of the internet when you have these questions, but then have human beings answer them rather than you have to go through a search in order to deduce what the answer is for yourself. This has been tried before. It's been done before. In fact, it's being done on a regular basis, say by like Yahoo Answers, which if I'm smart, I'll be able to scroll up over here. But it's been done before. Wikipedia is there. They're basically trying to do Wikipedia for specific questions that you might ask, but then have somebody answer it for you. I don't see the point of trying this. Google tried it for a while with Google Answers. They quit. I don't understand why anybody else wants to try to get into this business anyway.
I don't know why anybody wants to get in this business at all. This is lame.
Well, the real kicker to all this is people seem to think that if they go to one of these online services and ask these questions, they're going to get an unbiased opinion from some human being who has an answer. Well, here's the thing. If I have worthwhile information to share, I'm probably going to find a way to get paid or compensated somehow for it. I'm not going to give it away for free on Yahoo Answers or Quora or any of these other sites. I'm probably just going to sell the answer. So the only people who are going to be really interested in answering these questions and continuing to answer these questions are people who have a vested interest in somehow getting something out of the deal themselves or trying to persuade you of something.
And this is why you, Brian Geigel, will never be the CEO of Google, is because you want to make money off of stuff, and those guys don't.
Well, they do want to make money off of things. They just may or may not be able to do so in the long term.
Yeah.
That is the Google challenge. So Q&A services, why bother? Second question or issue of the day, Egypt's protests and the internet. Basically, the Egyptian government shut down the internet for people living in Egypt today and shut down their cell phone service as well.
This is absolutely unprecedented in the world of modern technology these days. I mean, an entire country, their internet access, their cell phone access, TV, radio, it's all been shut down. They cannot communicate at all. I just find this amazing that this is allowed to happen in this country. And the question is, could that ever happen in America? The debate we had on the air today was, can the American government ever do something like this? And I say no. I say that because of the way our system is set up, they couldn't do it.
And I think that there are ways that there could be massive disruptions imposed by the government. I know that there are people within the government who have wanted to be able to do a shutdown like this, specifically because they wanted to be able to prevent something bad from happening in case of another 9/11 event or something like that. But I don't know that it's a sustainable goal.
Yeah, I agree. I think, parts of our internet and our communication systems could be slowed or shut down, but never a complete blackout like they could in Egypt. Now, given that, post 9/11, we should never say never, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, and if we show up here for our show next week at the beginning of February and we find that they both still have a complete internet shutdown and a complete cell phone shutdown in Egypt, and they still have the same government in power, I'll be stunned. Totally and completely.
Okay.
Amazon.com sues Texas.
This is kind of, I shouldn't say it's funny, but Texas has gone after Amazon.com to pay taxes that haven't been collected. And the way it works in internet taxes is you don't have to charge sales tax if you're selling it into a state where you don't have a physical presence.
Right.
Well, Amazon has a physical presence in Irving, Texas, just outside of Dallas. They have a distribution center. So the state of Texas has said, well, you've never paid us taxes, so you now owe us $269 million. And the state of Texas did an audit.
That's a lot of Texas taxes.
Yes, it is. And Amazon.com has said, okay, you see, we owe you $269. show us the audit. And the state of Texas is refusing. So now Amazon is suing the state of Texas to get a copy of the audit
Of the Texas
of the Texas taxes,
taxes.
saying that they owe $269 million. And so the two sides are button heads here, and we'll see how that plays out. But I just think that's kind of funny that the state of Texas says, we don't need to show you the audit. You just owe us the money. Pay up.
It's a pretty big challenge. And the thing about this is, over the long term, expect more of these challenges to show up because obviously more and more sales are being conducted online, so that interests them simply from a government perspective of wanting to capture more sales taxes. But number two, and this is going to be a huge issue in places like Iowa, where the cities, the communities are very, very dependent upon property taxes, and we know that's not a very long-term sustainable solution to a lot of problems.
Yeah.
So there's a shift to going more towards sales taxes. There's a lot of interest in going towards sales taxes as a way to collect revenues for governments. And if what they're trying to do is go after these sales taxes, they're going to have to be more aggressive about pursuing sales taxes wherever they think they may be collected. Don't think that when you buy things online you aren't obligated to pay taxes. You, in fact, are. You're supposed to report those on your personal income taxes.
Everybody does that, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's what you're supposed to do. You are obligated to make those tax payments.
Okay, moving on.
Dan wants to avoid that one badly.
Moving on.
Good news for Apple people, I guess?
This story I find funny. A year ago, we're sitting here, and so a year ago, Apple's announcing that this product that they're going to come out with, it's this handheld tablet thing, that touch screen and everything, and it's going to be called the iPad. And the first thing that started happening is everybody started making fun of the name, iPad. You know,
it's a dumb name.
Nobody liked the name. Well, you know what? Those people aren't making fun of that name now, and millions and millions of people have bought this thing, so much so now that the iPad has catapulted Apple into the number 3 computer manufacturer in the world, behind HP and Acer, okay? And it's boosted their overall market share. This is, you know, out of all the people using technology these days, Apple, 10.8% of those people are using an Apple product, and it's because of the iPad. The product that we were making fun of a year ago.
Well, I'm still making fun of it to some extent, mainly because I think it's still oversold to some people. It's not the solution to everything that you want to do. It's simply another way for people to do things that they want. It's a convenient thing to have. A tablet PC is a convenient thing to have. I just think it's still oversold and overpriced.
I say that it's the most genius product that Apple's ever come out with, and I said this when it first came out back last April, Brian, that it is the representation of the end of the laptop computer.
I guess we'll see if Dan's right. I still say no.
Okay.
And what did we learn on the show today? DEF CON 1. That's the highest level of DEF CON.
Yeah, not DEF CON 5.
Yeah, DEF CON, not DEF CON 5, it's DEF CON 1.
DEF CON 1, where you said, you looked it up and it's, war is imminent.
Pretty much, yeah. So we're going to have to start doing a Wise Guys DEF CON and figuring out what DEF condition we should have for our own stuff. DEF CON, by the way, refers to defense condition. It's used by the U.S. Department of Defense, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard to determine what state of readiness they're at for whatever issues out there. We on the WHO Radio Wise Guys, I guess, are now going to DEF CON 5, the lowest level, because we're done with the show.
Because we're out of here.
It means that we will be back next Saturday.
How long is that, Brian?
That's going to be 167 hours from right now. We're recording this immediately after the show, of course.
Yep.
So Saturdays, 1 o'clock Central on News Radio 1040 WHO. You can get us online at whoradio.com if you're in the area, and you can reach it on the AM radio dial, 1040 AM. I'm Brian Gongle, behind the camera.
I'm Dan Adams.
Kind of in front of the camera. We'll be back next Saturday on News Radio 1040 WHO or streaming online at whoradio.com.